Hey, so this doesn't the basketball thing wasn't work out.
Yeah.
How the hell, considering that you were not in the music, you weren't doing anything in the music, how the hell you get to the music business from basketball when that wasn't a part of it to begin with?
Well, I got hurt at Houston, and you know, back then they take the scholarships away from you. Like there's no use for you. So when they took that scholarship away from my grandfather, said you can't sit in this house, you got to do something. But I didn't even know if I was going to be able to walk after that no more. And I just started listening to music and getting into it. And then I had a son, I had Romeo, and I'm like, I got to get away. I went to California and I opened up a record store. You know, I watched all these people, you know, stand in line. I'm like, I'm going to start my own little company. So I opened up this little small mom and pop record store called the No Limit Records. And I started realizing, watching the people, what they was buying and what they liked. And I'm like, man, I have a story to tell. So not only I own the store and I understand the whole customer service part of this, but also I realized that I have a story to tell. And I wanted to put the South on the map. Because at that time you had Tupac, Biggie, Small. Everybody was the East Coast, West Coast. You had a little bit of the Ghetto Boys and Uncle Luke. And I'm like, but as far as the music in the South, going to the East Coast and the West Coast, it was just a little bit of it. And I'm like, nah, I got to represent. And so I just started doing music, and I started going on the road because Tupac and them used to come into my store. And so I started going on the road with them. And then one day they let me open up for them. And the rest was history after that.
Wow. I mean, just like that. But
yeah.
You open up a music store, and then not only say, you know, but you had to have bigger dreams than just running a music store, operating a storefront.
Yeah. Now what happened was when Tupac, Too Short, E40, all those guys was coming to put their records in my stores on consignment. And when it was coming in, you know, I'm start thinking like, I'm from New Orleans, all the stuff I've been through, like, you know, I need to put this.
You thinking of that hustle? You got a hustle going.
Yeah, I did. That's what happened. I'm like, I need to put this into, you know, put my story into. Then I start calling my brother, like, man, let's start this group, and it just all went from there. It was hard because think about it. I didn't have the major companies behind me, so I'll be sitting in the lobby, like we talked about earlier, waiting on these record people to come to the table to try to get my music on the radio stations. And sometimes it didn't work because I didn't sound like nobody in the West Coast. So it seemed like it was a failure, but it was different, but it was unique. And that uniqueness, once I got bigger, it took me to be able to sell over 100 million records.
You mentioned that Tupac, E40, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna have E40 on my show in the coming days.
Yeah.
You mentioned that they came into your store and somehow you became friends with Tupac, and Tupac let you on the road and you open up. How the hell did that happen?
I mean, you know what? I'm probably the only guy, the young guy in the community. They didn't even know it was my store. They're like, this your dad's store. Some people that didn't believe me, I'm like, yeah, this is my dad's store. You know, but I think the guys was just, I mean, even with E40. So I really learned the music industry from E40 uncle, St. Charles. So St. Charles ended up showing me how to distribute my music throughout the whole Bay Area. And I mean, it was just a lot of young people that had hustle back then in the Bay Area, from Too Short to E40. I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, Spice One, it was a lot of young hustlers back then. And I think I was able to get my drive and hustle from them and having them around. And I mean, it was just that era. It was that era that the Bay Area people, far as music, they always thought out the box and always came up with their own language and everything. I mean, E40, some of the stuff I didn't even understand. E40, you know, E40 was rapping fast back then. But guess what? Everybody could sing it word for word. Everybody knew.
If P, you mentioned, nobody to this day has E40's flow. You look at Too Short, that bass style is very unique to that area, area. And to this day, nobody has ever been able to comprehend and be able to
show you. E40 the GOAT, man. Let me show you something. So this is my dog. So I had to put E40 on these rap snakes.
40 got some noodles out.
Yeah, that's E40. Right? That's my dog.
He a good dude. He coming on, and he got cognac, tycoon.
Yeah.
He be doing cooking. He got pots and pans, the goon with a spoon. 40 is he's definitely a mogul.
But you know what? 40 was able to diversify his portfolio, and I got a lot of respect for him for that, knowing that we're not gonna be able to do this entertainment stuff forever.
Right.
And just like you can't do football forever. You know what I'm saying? And I think that now we realizing that we need to get us something else to keep it going.
Hey, hold on. You mean to tell me you ain't gonna be Mick Jagger up on stage? You ain't gonna be 70 years old?
Nah. I'm good. I'm gonna be selling these products. That's what I'm gonna be doing.
You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button to become an official member of Club Shay Shay, where we always do something for two something.